Mommy, are we cursed? Why does life always have to feel like this? Why does nothing come out being right? Why is everyone forsaking us? Are we really cursed? Why is my life like this? And why is yours like this? Nneka held her daughter tight while her daughter wept bitterly. In the beautiful city of Oka, there lived a very beautiful, elegant, well-mannered woman named Nneka. Nneka was born and brought up from a very poor home. Nneka is the third daughter among 5 children. Her mom had given birth to 3 girls and 2 boys. Nneka loved to sew. Her passion and dream was to own her own beauty line. Nneka was a small girl with a big dream. She had a vision walking on runway. She had dreamt of her clothes speaking volume out there. Nneka toiled and tried and did everything to convince her parents that she wanted to be a fashion designer. But who would have thought? Those days, when ladies were teachers, ladies were medical doctors. These were the joy of parents. What made parents proud? Being called Mama Doctor. And so many others. So why would Nneka choose to become a fashion designer? A seamstress who nobody regards out of that time. Nneka's mother was really, really angry. She felt that all her pain, all her hard work was about to go down the drain. How can Nneka choose to become a fashion designer over being a medical doctor, over being a nurse that can travel abroad and send them plenty money? Why will Nneka break her heart? But Nneka kept on convincing her parents. She wanted to be a fashion designer, and that's what she wanted to do. Her mom tried to find reasons with it, but it wasn't clicking in any way. Nothing was trying to fix the puzzle. She can't let her daughter bring her down. How can she say she wants to be a fashion designer in such a world? But after many years of conviction, after many years of trials and tribulation, after many years of Nneka solely dedicating everything into being a fashion designer, Nneka went as far as going to medical school, but returning the certificate back to her parents, telling her parents that she wanted to be a fashion designer. She had her dreams, and she wanted to work in line with her dreams. This broke her mother's heart. Nneka came out the best graduating student in medical school, but still refused to be a medical doctor. And at the point her parents felt that they couldn't convince her enough, they had to let her go. They had to let her go chase her dream. Nneka started chasing her dream at a very late age of 28. And with this in mind, Nneka poured her heart into fashion design. She had no time for love. She had no time to chit-chat. All she wanted to do was put her soul into fashion designing. She wanted to get the best out of it. Nneka saved a lot of money and went to the best fashion school. And when she was done, she opened her own line, her own beauty line, and it was a talk of the town. Her mom, who was once heartbroken, once pained that her daughter didn't want to be a medical doctor, soon took pride in the attire her daughter makes for her. As whatsoever clothes she wore, most lady wanted to have something like that. And who else makes it for her if not her beautiful daughter Nneka? The Nneka she once thought was going to bring her heart pain soon brought her joy in ways she didn't expect. As Nneka's line grew loud and wide, everybody wanted to have a taste of Nneka's clothes on their body. She didn't just make a dress because she wanted to. Her dress was something called spectacular. When you see her dress, you could envision the work of art. She put pieces together to give you what you want. Nneka had the eyes of fashion, and that was something her mom was so glad that she later allowed Nneka to chase. But along the way, Nneka soon yearned for love, someone to comfort her, someone to encourage her, someone to carry her along the way, someone who could read her mind and tell what she's going through. She had achieved her dream. She was 39. This time she needed something more. Someone to lean on after her hard work. Someone who was going to understand her for who she was and not for the work of art she brings to the table. And with this, Nneka opened her heart into dating. She went on various dates that her parents and friends have hooked her on. But she couldn't find that person. That person who complimented her in all ways. She couldn't just find that man yet. But she didn't give up. She told herself, it's one step at a time. One step at a time. Nneka kept on going on various dates. At some point, she told herself she wasn't willing to go on hookups. She was just going to let it come her way. If the man was going to come, so be it. And if he wasn't going to come, so be it. She wasn't going to kill herself about it. And one certain day, a beautiful, fair young lady had walked into her fashion empire. She wanted to make a dress for her traditional marriage. This lady knew what she wanted in her dress. She knew exactly what she wanted Nneka to make for her. She wasn't like Nneka regular bride who will just say, the color of my day is this and I want the dress to be like this. This lady knew what she wanted. And this was the first design Nneka was going to make of such masterpiece. Nneka settled down to listen to what this lady wanted, gave her little contribution one way or the other, and the two of them were able to come to agreement to make a very beautiful masterpiece. Nneka was really grateful that such opportunity was coming her way. And when Nneka was done with the consultation for that day, the lady's brother had come to pick her up. Ugonna opened the door for his sister and escorted her out of Nneka's place of work. But before leaving, he quickly asked Nneka who she was. Nneka quickly told Ugonna, I am nobody but your sister Stella. I'm making her traditional marriage dress. My name is Nneka. Ugonna was pleased to see such an ambitious lady, a beautiful lady. She spoke very well and was very, very mannered. And with this, Ugonna made sure to follow his sister for every section. Ugonna followed his sister Daisy for her testing, fitting, every dang thing. He followed Daisy to all sections. He just wanted to have the opportunity to talk to Nneka, seeing the way she walked, the way she was determined. And one day, after Daisy was done with one of her fittings, Ugonna quickly asked Nneka, please, I would like to have your number. Nneka quickly told him, no problem, I'll drop that with you. But I don't make male attire. I don't make dresses for men. Ugonna smiled and said, I just want to get to know you more. Is that too much to ask? Nneka smiled and said, no, that's not a problem. And as the days went by, Ugonna gradually invited Nneka for a dinner. And when Nneka came around, they got talking. Ugonna wanted to know everything about Nneka, her life, who she was, how it all started, how she became the talk of the town. Nneka gradually explained herself to Ugonna, how her parents always wanted her to be a medical doctor. But right from when she was small, she enjoyed sketching out beautiful dresses. And she knew that that was her passion. And even after graduating as one of the best students, she did not go for medicine. Instead, she still chased her dream. And she's so glad that it paid off. If not, her parents would have been angry with her. Ugonna listened carefully. And he was really, really glad. He was so glad that he had found someone he loved. The way she spoke, he never got bored at any point. The date came to an end without even Ugonna knowing it had come to an end. He was really happy. And after Daisy got married, Ugonna and Nneka started dating. They dated for a period of a year, 6 months. And Ugonna quickly popped the question. He wanted to get married to Nneka. And after they got married, they were living the best life they had ever wished for. Ugonna was the best man Nneka could ever have. Ugonna was a businessman who deals with importing and exporting of building materials. He was the talk of the town. If you want the best tie, you call Ugonna. If you want the best Spain tie, you call Ugonna. If you want the best jacuzu, you call Ugonna. That was his specialty. Whereas his wife Nneka, best seamstress in town, they were living their best life. And within a short period of time, they welcomed their first child. And she was immediately named after her mother, Nneka. So, baby Nneka was a carbon copy of Nneka. Her eyes, her hair, everything was a replica of Nneka. And with this, Nneka named her daughter after herself. She named her Nneka Ella Ugonna. She was known to be a cheerful child. She loved to play, and she also gradually learned how to sew because she always followed her mom to her place of work. Everything was going on well in their home. Ugonna and Nneka worked hand in hand to give Nneka best they could give, both academically, both in terms of feeding, supplies, everything baby Nneka ever wanted was given to her. She was taught never to go begging. Manners and principles were embedded in her. But over time, Nneka longed for another child. She tried and tried and tried, even went as far as doing numerous IVF, but she couldn't conceive. And when she thought fit was coming her way, she had walked to the hospital one day and the doctor had told her that she had reached menopause. Nneka was heartbroken. Why did menopause come so early? She felt she was going to reach her menopause at age 50. She was just 45 and menopause had come knocking on her door. She wanted to have another child, at least a son, someone to carry on her husband's name. She knew her husband wanted a son, but there was nothing she could do about this. She cried and prayed every day. And at some point, she asked herself she could always adopt. But she told herself, will Ugonna want me to adopt a son? Or will he want his own flesh and blood? But Ugonna always tried to calm her down and told her, that's not a problem. We already have Ella here. Ella is already a blessing to us. Ella is a beautiful child. I can't ask for anything more. With the comfort and words she heard from her husband, she felt relaxed. She felt everything was going on well. She felt everything was fine. Her husband had already given her the assurance that he was okay with only Ella. So why should she trouble herself? Nneka stopped troubling herself and continued building her own business, her own line, and giving her daughter the best she could always give. But one day, when Ella was just 15 years, Nneka and Ella were sitting in the living room just to listen to the news for the day, and to their greatest surprise, her husband was involved in a ghastly accident and was rushed to the clinic. Nneka carried her daughter and ran as fast as her legs could carry her. On getting to the clinic, her husband was in serious pain. He was seriously injured and might not even make it in the next 24 hours. While Nneka held his hand and seriously praying that he makes it, that he comes out of the situation, he looked at Nneka and told Nneka, I am sorry, my dear wife. Nneka could not understand these words. Why sorry? Why are you sorry? You're in pain. You just had an accident. Are you sorry for getting an accident? But Nneka never understood those words. Why was her husband telling her he was sorry? Nneka kept on praying. Ella was crying seriously, close to her father. But in the midst of all this, Ugonna kicked the bucket. This broke Nneka to pieces. In fact, she was shattered. She couldn't believe what was happening. Her only love, the only person who had made her happy, someone who gave her joy, someone who helped to encourage her along the way. With Ugonna, life was perfect. And after the burial and funeral arrangement, Nneka returned back to her home, trying to put things together. One fateful day, Ugonna's lawyer had come to read the will to Nneka. But while he was coming into the house, he came with another lady and 2 sons. Nneka actually thought that was the lawyer's family. Probably they were going somewhere and decided to stop by. But while he was reading the will, Ugonna left only their house to Nneka and baby Ella and gave this supposed strange woman everything. All his shares, all his buildings scattered around Oka. Everything. He gave it to this supposed strange woman. Nneka was left with the building, her home. When the lawyer was done reading it, she was still in a state of shock and she quickly asked, who are you? And why is my husband willing everything to you? And that was when the lawyer introduced Ngozi to her. Ngozi was Ugonna's second wife. When he found out that Nneka couldn't bear more children, he gave her peace. He made her feel comfortable. But in the long run, he went to pay Ngozi's bride price so that Ngozi could bear him more children. And Ngozi gave birth to 2 sons for Ugonna. Reason being why Ugonna had willed everything to Ngozi and her sons, leaving Nneka with just the roof over her head. Nneka couldn't stop crying. Not because she wasn't rich, not because she didn't have her own buildings or anything, but she was shocked with the magnitude of betrayal Ugonna, with the atrocity Ugonna had done. Is that why he was saying he was sorry? He would have been alive to tell me what was going on, Nneka said. What was sorry going to do? I loved this man, and all he could do was to break me into pieces. Nneka agreed with everything Ugonna wrote on the will. She signed everything she needed to sign and let Ngozi and her sons take everything. Nneka cried. She couldn't just imagine that Ugonna would do this to her. And with this, Nneka changed her mindset entirely about men and why she groomed her daughter, Ella. She made Ella believe that men will always be a very wicked set of people. And when you're working with a man, you should be very careful. She always told Ella, why Ella was growing up, that you see, the reason why you're going to one of the best schools in town is because I had a life. If you don't have a life, men will trample on you, kick you out whenever they want to kick you. Ella never understood those words. To her, her dad was the best dad. Her dad provided everything for her. So Ella did not even understand the direction her mom was coming from. As Ella was in school the day the will was being read, so she never knew what had happened. She didn't even know that all her dad's businesses did not go to her mom. Ella always asked her mom, why do you say this? Why do you feel that men are wicked? But you and dad had a very beautiful life. You loved dad so much and dad loved you so much. So where is all this mindset coming from? Nneka will always look at her daughter and say, you won't understand now. When you grow up and start dating, start working with men, when you start relating with men, you will get to understand what I'm saying. Nneka made sure her daughter started saving on time and pushed her daughter to work harder than she did. She pushed her daughter far more than she could imagine. Her daughter Ella wanted to also become a fashion designer like her. Nneka pushed her hard. Not just Nneka, sending her daughter to the best fashion school. She went as far as making her daughter to learn diverse language, telling her that if you can communicate in various languages, you will be able to work with international people. So I don't want you to stop where I stop. I want you to start from where I stop. Whatsoever new fashion school that opened, she was going to send Ella to that fashion school. She kept on pushing Ella, kept on pushing Ella. When Ella turned 25, she met a very young, handsome man named Ebuka. Ebuka wanted to get married to Ella. Ella was really excited. But Nneka, her mother, was even more excited than her. As Nneka was glad that Ella was getting married on time. And with this in mind, there won't be any reason for a heartbreak in her daughter's home. Ella was getting married on time, so she will be able to conceive both male and female children. So Ella, her daughter, will not have to face the same sorrow, the same pain she faced. Ella, her daughter, was going to end up being happy. After the wedding, she had called her daughter Ella and told her, my daughter, sit down. You know, I've not told you anything about marriage, but today I will want to tell you before you leave my house. Ella, my beautiful daughter, I know you know most things. I know you know the way you want to carry your home, but bear this in mind. Don't go to your house and go and start feeding your husband. Yes, he's well-to-do, but you are way richer than him. Don't go there and start showcasing your wealth. Respect him the way you will want him to respect you. He's a businessman and you're a businesswoman. That doesn't mean your marriage is a business. There should be love, there should be unity, there should be mutual understanding. And above all, never give a man your money. Your money is your money. His money is for the family. Save your money. On the long run, you will get to understand the reason why I'm telling you this. Be very, very careful. Do not allow anyone deceive you and say that they have a perfect home because they are assisting their husband. Assist him in the best way you can. Don't go and give him any amount of money you can let go. If he ever asks you to support him in any business, please give a particular amount that you know if he doesn't return, you won't feel bad about it. Don't turn yourself to a well whereby he's going to keep drawing water from. Be very, very careful. And Ella told her mom, Mama, I've understood you. You've always hit this on the nail. I'm going to be very careful. I will trade with caution. We are working in the same place, so obviously if I should take any money, you will know. Her mom said, I won't know because I'm not inside your bank. I am just telling you beforehand. Be very careful. Ella thanked her mother greatly and departed to her husband's home. Ella and Ebuka were living happily. They were always excited, living their best life. Ella was always happy when she went to work. She was the queen in her home. Ebuka took care of her. Ebuka pampered her. Whenever Ella comes to work, you could see her always smiling. Ebuka was doing well for himself. He was a businessman. He was fine and okay. Ella was always excited. But things soon took a U-turn in their home. After 5 years of marriage, Ella had not given birth. At that point, Ella was 30. Ella was broken. She started crying. She visited various fertility hospitals trying to conceive. And she was scared that her husband might start looking out. She was really scared that her husband might start looking out. But Ebuka always told her, don't worry yourself. God's time is the best. Why trouble yourself about it? We've already gone to the hospital and the doctor said that we are both fine. We've even tried IVF, but it failed. Don't worry yourself. You see, this child is going to come our way, one way or the other. But Ella did not understand these words. Ella did not understand the word of one way or the other. When this word gradually came back to her was the day Ebuka came into their home with a lady who was pregnant. Ella looked at Ebuka and asked Ebuka, who is this? Ebuka smiled and looked at Ella and said, meet Cassie. Cassie meets Ella. She's my wife. Ella meets Cassie, the mother of my unborn child. Ella started crying. She was heartbroken. She couldn't just fathom the words coming out from her husband's mouth. I, wife, she, mother of unborn child. What is going on here? I thought you said we should wait, she quickly asked Ebuka. I thought you said God's time was the best. Ebuka looked at her and said, hey you, shut up. So you expect me to keep following you to various prayer home and hospital while age is running out on me? I should keep following you when I can get a woman pregnant? I won't do that in any way. I'm tired of this. And I decided to take law into my hands. Since I can get a woman pregnant, I have gotten one pregnant for myself. You don't expect me to keep waiting for you. I just want you to have this at the back of your mind. We need your maximum cooperation here. She's going to bear the child. If she doesn't want the child, she'll give the child to you. That is a great opportunity for you to be a mother. But if she wants to keep the child, then I'll have to marry you both. Because I need this child. And you can't give me one. At least for the last 5 years, nothing has come out of you. She started shedding tears. She couldn't believe what was happening. She didn't even understand what was happening. She locked herself in the room for days, crying and weeping. How could Ebuka break her heart? How could Ebuka do this to her? But the day she got the shocker of her life was the day she asked Ebuka to return the 5 million naira he had borrowed from her for his business. Ebuka walked up to his wife 4 weeks before he had come to the house with Cassie and told Ella that please he needed money for his containers on high sea. To which Ella initially told him that she didn't have such amount of money. But Ebuka convinced her that the money was for his containers on high sea. And the moment that container lands and he starts selling it, he was going to return the money. This was already past 6 months of when he made that initial promise. And he had not yet returned the money. Ella quickly asked him, can you return the money to me? I need this money. I need to use this money to get some fabrics from the market. We have a lot of supplies to make. Ebuka looked at his wife and said, which money? You should be grateful you gave me that money. Just come on 5 million naira. And you're making it look like as if you gave me what? What is that? That money you gave to me is the money I used to bring Cassie here. Is the money I used to clear hospital bills and sort some other things. So you should be grateful. Moreover, if she gives birth, won't you also be called mommy? Not even make me angry. Ebuka quickly told Ella, what do you mean by the money you gave to me? Is it good? Are you the first woman to give your husband money? Will you be the last? Ella did not just understand what was going on. She had no issue with Ebuka bringing Cassie into the house. At least, Cassie had not yet said she wanted the child, so she just felt when Cassie gives birth, she was going to have the child. But why won't Ebuka return her money? What is the relationship between Cassie and her money? Ebuka had told her this money was for a business, so why drag Cassie into the matter? Ella looked at Ebuka and told him, please return my money, as agreed. Ebuka told her, I'm not returning any money, because I don't have it to return to you. I have helped you bring a child into the world, so please and please be grateful for that. For over the period of time, Ella tried to hold herself. She watched the way Ebuka showed love to Cassie, whereas she was all alone in her room. Ebuka practically moved his belongings to Cassie's room. At that point, she knew that she had lost this battle. There was no way Cassie was going to leave that child for her. There was no way Cassie was going to leave this house without living with the child. She knew that this battle was a lost battle. And she told herself, Mama warned me. My mother had warned me not to give money to a man. If I must give the amount I know I can let go. Can you see the shame my husband has brought upon me? Can you see? So my money is what he's using to feed this strange woman he had brought into my home. My money. Ella cried and cried and cried. But she told herself, why give up? Wait till when Cassie gives birth and see if Cassie is going to give you the child. But after Cassie gave birth to her beautiful baby girl, she noticed that Cassie did not even allow her lay a finger on the child. As the moment she gave birth, Ebuka had run to her village to pay her bride price. Ebuka had finalized everything about Cassie's bride price. Ella was shocked when Cassie looked at her and told her to her face, I am no longer your husband's childbearer. I am now his wife. Ebuka has paid my bride price, so now I have the authority in this house the same way you do. Ella was very, very surprised. She was shocked with the words coming out from Cassie's mouth. And she decided to leave the marriage. It was better to leave the marriage than to remain in this marriage and suffer all this in the name of love. So Ella decided to walk out of the marriage. She decided to live and live in peace. But something Ebuka soon forgot was that the house he was living in belonged to Ella. She built the house with her own money. After Ella left the marriage and had finalized the divorce, she quickly kicked Ebuka and Cassie out of her house. She told them to leave her house and never return. And that was when it dawned on Ebuka that it was time to face life for what it was. Yes, he was a businessman, but the business wasn't doing well like before. Ella told Ebuka never to show his face in her house. Since he wanted to be a father, he should go be a father. He thinks being a father is easy, to provide everything for a lady who is not working. Go be a father. That night, her mom had come to visit her. Ella wailed and wailed. And she asked her mom, Mommy, why is our life like this? Were we cursed? Nneka did not understand what she was saying. and she had never told her daughter what her father did. Ella looked at her mom and said, Mama, you did not tell me what Papa did, but I heard it while growing up. As one certain day, I stumbled on a man who told me he was my stepbrother, and that was when I knew that Papa cheated on you. Nneka cried while hugging her daughter. Ella kept on crying and asking herself, what was the issue? Stay tuned to find out how Ella and her mom navigates their life. Were they really cursed? Why was everything falling apart in their life? Don't forget, we still remain your favorite storyteller, Zika. Please do not forget to support us by subscribing, liking our videos, turning on the notification bell to get more interesting stories like this. To meet again in our next story. Bye for now.